to see. I'm free as the breeze. No one but me and my memories. Some lucky night he may come back again.
Hello Earthlings. Thought of getting ready was just very much holding me back. I did do my new face microcurrent because anytime I feel gross, I find that it just kind of peps me up and kind of takes me out of my head, and then when I look nice after, I'm more likely to enjoy getting ready. The solution is just keeping everything very simple, very quick. And I've layered 2 moisturizers that I really love, a new one that I quite like, it's called the Instant Angel Lipid Rich Moisturizer, and I just got a lipid moisturizer to help with my skin barrier. Generally, when you ruin your moisture barrier and you get all of that texture and dry patches, you just need to lay off all of your actives and treatments and vitamin C's and acids and exfoliators. However, one thing that does help is any moisturizer with ceramides and peptides. And for the more sheeny, wet glass skin kind of plump look, I layer the O Espresso Dewy Latte Moisturizer Glow Booster. This is one of my favorite. I just love wearing it under makeup or on its own. Switched my concealer. I've switched to the Kosas one, which, what's it called? Revealer concealer. I wear shade 4 neutral. I swatched the Kosas one and the Milk Makeup one. I think they're kind of like rival concealers, but I felt like this one sat way better on my drier under eyes. Because I'm not wearing that much, I'm gonna drag it down here too. Oh my god, I didn't even put anything on. I was pulling a Hailey Biebs there. Like I said, we're keeping things simple today, so I think I'm just gonna do maybe a little bit of blush and lip liner. These lip liners I honestly think are some of the best out there at the moment. The Makeup Forever Artist Color Pencil. This is Wherever Walnut, which is a bit darker than my everyday, but I love it. I've been rounding off my Cupid's bow just to make my top lip look a little plumper. Sometimes I go overboard and I don't care. Just because Glossier like still has me in a chokehold. Love kind of like a bare simple face, no mascara, with kind of a strong pouty lip. To get myself into some clothes, I thought you'd appreciate the tones going on here. It's bringing me a sense of calm for some reason. However, I think we're gonna go rogue and wear this color today. Throwback. Very simple, very basic, just got the Levi's, vintage Levi's on, and then this cute little comfy top, and then this top because it's making me happy. Made out of this stretchy, soft material. I don't know, I kind of like the sleeves. It's Aritzia, the Sunday Best, like Emma Chamberlain collection. I really wanted the blue, but they were out. But green is my favorite color, so a win is a win. Oof. Did something easy to kind of settle me in, so here we are. First of all, thank you for all the questions they came through on Instagram. I said you guys could ask me anything, fun, silly, advice, just as long as it was respectful. And you guys really impressed me. I got nothing rude. I had a lovely time narrowing the questions with my coffee, so let's get into it. I'm not going over the basics in this Q&A, but I think you can get to know someone really well through their opinions on things. So if you're new, hi, hello, welcome. How have you been? What has the resting period brought to your life? And another person said, like, how was your digital break? You know, I mentioned in my last video that I basically took the month off. Just took that 1 month break of like needing to be on camera. I always welcome breaks like that because I end up coming back really not only like more focused, but I always just come back full of ideas and excitement to kind of dive into. It wasn't a hardcore digital detox where I wasn't on my phone or anything. What habits do die hard. I did stick the head in on stories a few times, mainly just like show you my makeup looks. It does bring me this insight into what my life would be like if I didn't have to rely so much on uploading and being online as like a full-time thing, and that's definitely something that I've been thinking of and working towards for the last few years. But I am looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to living life less online. Funny, I'm a very all or nothing person. It's either I'm online 24/7 or I love not being online at all. One realization I had definitely in terms of my content is I do actually want to post more. I want to get rid of my schedule. So what I am proposing is getting rid of my like hard and fast schedule of the Sunday upload. Sunday is our day for the last few years, but I've just found it so restricting, and I've realized just how much it not only like impedes on my quality time with people every other weekend, but my whole weekend is consumed by it, whether I'm finishing touches on a Friday, Saturday, going through the comments, replying to people on Sunday. If I'm doing something specific or if I have some tips to share, I kind of want to introduce more of those like shorter videos like randomly during the week. Turn the notifications on. I promise they're not annoying. It's just like a little pop-up every time I upload. But yeah, I may not always be uploading the vlogs on a Sunday now, and there will be also extra videos thrown in there. Still my favorite day to upload. I feel like if I was a day of the week, it would be Sunday. Like that's the vibe of the vlogs. But yeah, I just want to be less restricted. I want to show up more. I want you guys to see me more. Like, what do I think of long form video versus like TikTok? Honestly, I'm very happy that I never ditched this platform, because like this is like where I started. This is where I feel at home. This is where I feel like people really get to know me. But TikTok for me is definitely going to be like my makeup home base, because a lot of you guys ask me for tutorials. I don't know why, because like I don't think I do my makeup that well, but that's where I'm kind of re-teaching myself how to do makeup at the moment. So if like me, you felt a bit stuck with how to do your makeup for like your older face or like aging face, come join the club over there. And I just shite post over there too. Not surprising, but one of the most asked questions was, what was I studying? I mentioned in my last video that the reason I went to Vancouver was to take some time out also to do this course that I was really interested in doing. And like I said, the stars aligned, and it's actually crazy how I feel like my world bent around me doing this course, because I find that like often when I plan to take time off, I'll end up getting booked for work while I'm away, and like it's really hard to resist getting work. You know, I'm obviously a freelancer. It's hard to like pick and choose when the work comes, and if you want to do something, you often have to just take it. But that didn't happen. Like I really did get the month unbothered. My inbox was super quiet. I didn't have anything to submit. I obviously didn't have any vlogs, stories. I did book work. I booked quite a bit of work towards the end, but it was all for when I got back to New York, and none of it like impeded on my plan to take the time off. So again, when I make decisions to do things, I look for little signs like that kind of let me know that, okay, I'm supposed to be doing this. When things line up so perfectly like that, and obstacles that you thought you would have aren't obstacles, and everything goes smoothly, I always find that that's when I feel really in alignment and I trust myself. I actually didn't think I would tell you what I was studying for like another long time, but I enjoyed the course so much, which was another question. Did I enjoy what I ended up picking to do? And yeah, it was an online course, and I really did. I enjoyed it way more than I thought I would. So I think I'm a bit more confident in sharing what it was. None of you guessed it. I'm actually really surprised. Online course took about 3 weeks for me to complete, and that's with doing like at least 2 to 3 hours of work per day. The course that I ended up studying was basically a hypnosis course. I'm such a Dolores Cannon stan. She is basically kind of a pioneer of like regression and past life hypnosis, but it kind of like developed on from that into a form of hypnosis that brings a lot of healing and insight for people. So it's called the quantum healing hypnosis technique. Sounds very like woo, but you know, that's a bit of me. And doing the course, I'm even just more invested in it. As you guys know, I have been reading Dolores's books for the last probably year and a half. I just got through the convoluted Universe Book 2, which is a chunky 700 pages. So I'm just about to start volume 3, and these are no joke. Like, you cannot bomb through these books. She's passed now, God bless her, but she wrote so many books covering different topics that she discovered through putting people in a very deep state of trance. Very fascinating, and she just reported them in the books as they were, just transcribed them pretty much directly and kind of put them in a cohesive way. They're very mind-bending. The reason it's taken me so long to finish them is because you cannot read more than 1 to 3 chapters at a time. She always describes them as if you like your mind being bent like a pretzel and you're very open-minded, then these read better than any sci-fi you have ever seen in your life. It's just, I connect with her. It's mad to think that I have read nothing else but these books for almost 2 years now. I've barely read anything else. I haven't been reading any fiction or anything like that because, like I said, I find those books very entertaining. Stumbled upon the course. It never crossed my mind that she had a course or that I would be able to do remotely what she does. But I seen that it was available online. It was basically a catalogue of all of her past in-person courses where she went around the world and taught people how to do it, and they kind of packaged it together nicely for you to be able to learn it online. And I feel like it was worth every penny. I really enjoyed it. I was very engrossed in it, and I felt at home, and I felt very excited by it, which I think is the main thing. Like, I don't think I've felt this amount of thrill from anything like outside of this job in a really long time. So I've been studying to become a hypnotist. Not like going to a traditional hypnotist. It's her own method. It goes very, very deep. It goes to a much deeper state of trance than most standard hypnotists, you know, for like when you go for like bad habits or like to stop smoking. So yeah, I don't know how much I'll be talking about it. If there's anything you want to know about it, I'll definitely keep it in mind for future videos. It's not something I expect to be good at overnight, but it kind of feels refreshing to be bad at something, or like to not, like, you know, this is a technique that takes practice. You can't just do the course and like be good at it. It really takes a lot of in-person practice. But I have had a successful session with my poor boyfriend who volunteered to be my subject. 3 tries, 3rd time lucky, got him on the 3rd one, and that filled me with a bit more confidence to now kind of go away and practice on my friends. Like I said, I don't know if it's something that, you know, a lot of people just do this course and they just do it with friends and they keep it kind of in their intimate circles, and then other people go on to do it professionally and open up practices. So we'll see. It really just depends. Oh my god, going into his past life was wild. Like, he described it in such accurate detail of a life he had in San Francisco in the 50s. It was bonkers. Found message even just within the past life section of the session that totally correlated to what he's going through now. I'm sure there's experiences and examples on YouTube of what the QHHT sessions are like. Some of you will think it's completely bonkers, some of you will completely get it. I'm not here to change your mind on it, but I've seen enough through the course to make me want to really invest more time in it. The camera's around because I like changing them up for the questions, but I've also popped on the lights. Do I still plan to be an influencer? I still hate that word. I'm sorry, I've never felt comfortable with it. Along with your holistic career. Yes, I think, again, if I decide to take this further and, you know, continue, yes, I see myself as somebody that will always be doing more than one thing, and to me, I'm just not looking at it as a career. I'm looking at it as a lifelong journey of doing things that I enjoy, that I am also able to like sustain myself financially with. It's not something I'm like, okay, I have to pick this one thing and do it forever. I've never had that view. Going back to what I just said, I think career is dead. Like, I'm calling it now. I feel like a lot of you will know what I'm talking about. The old way of doing things, the old systems, especially if you look at the astrology around this, everything is crumbling down. We're finding new ways of doing things, new ways to live, and I've seen it everywhere. Just people being like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to work like this. I want to have more of a work-life balance. Like, even if I'm just going to get my acupuncture, the guy will be like, yeah, I worked in the music industry for 15 years and now I do acupuncture. You know, people are starting to prioritize fulfillment over money. And I think that a lot of people I've met, because there was a lot of you that asked me about career pivots and you're not enjoying kind of the traditional work landscape you're in and you want to pivot to something else. Well, I think people a lot of the times find that if they do something they're passionate about, it automatically means that they're going to take a paycheck hit. And that might be true for a while, but depending on how money motivated you are, there's no limits to the kind of life that you can have. You know, you can have a very simple and fulfilling career doing something holistic and still find a way to monetize that in a way that covers the kind of lifestyle you want to lead, or you can make do with less and feel happier because you're doing something fulfilling. It really, you know, the possibilities are endless. But yes, I get it. It's scary leaving what you know and what is comfortable, but you just don't find growth unless you put yourself in uncomfortable positions. And you should always follow your, what do I call them? You should always follow your curiosities. I think that is a great place to start anytime you're feeling stuck. The last sort of most frequently asked questions were all about Vancouver, BC, which I obviously just came back from. I hope you enjoyed the little montage at the start. It kind of gets you up to speed on how I spent my time. That's just about being there, being with my boyfriend, NYC versus Vancouver. Yes, I'll get some of these questions before kind of jumping into the more random questions, the more like quick fire questions. You see yourself living anywhere else other than New York / Vancouver? Yeah, it's a reality that I'm sort of coming to terms with. I don't plan on like moving to Vancouver for a long time, but I definitely am going to be doing a stint moving back to Europe together at some point in sort of early to mid 2024. But yeah, I won't be like moving all of my stuff there or anything like that. I'll just be going for a few months, and I don't know, it's just, I don't see it as a big deal. But yeah, we're definitely getting sick of not being together. We love our own space, our own time, but every time we see each other, it's getting harder and harder to not want that gap to be just fully closed. A lot of people were asking me about like the energy of Vancouver versus New York, and they are just polar opposites. But this is classic me. I'm all or nothing. I'm black, I'm white, I'm hot, I'm cold. Like there's never, like I'm never in the middle of anything. Vancouver is very different. It's very chill, which is why I like it. It is the complete polar opposite to New York. And I love them both for different reasons. A lot of people ask me like, what do I like about Vancouver? And it's funny because it's not a city that particularly calls to my soul. It doesn't inspire me or ignite me, I would say, in the same way New York does. However, I'm there in the context of being there with my boyfriend in a nice flat. All of those things considered, I feel very relaxed, and there's a lot to be said for that. I think I've led a semi-high-strung life in different ways, and my heart with my boyfriend there, I feel very at peace, happy. So that in itself has value to me. We've been moving at a very steady pace, and it's been a luxury in a way, because I think these days, because rents are so high, couples tend to like move in together really, really quickly. And even though like we've always wanted that, we've also just known that like it's gonna come. There's like a sense of calm I've felt within this relationship about not rushing things. Like it doesn't mean you're not desiring them. It doesn't, like, because I think someone else said like life's too short, just move in together, like just do it. And I'm like, yes, but divine timing is a real thing, and my gut is telling me that I need to be in New York till the end of the year. And I'm just trying to enjoy this time, you know, it's closing of a chapter here. You maintain the confidence in knowing you're making the right life decisions. Anytime that I've not followed my gut instinct is when I've been burned. So I follow it blindly now. It could tell me to walk off in a cliff, and somehow I would trust it and know that someone will catch me at the bottom. There's no true way of knowing. All you can do is make decisions that align with the person that you are or who you want to be, and trust that it will be the right decision. I'm very good at watching out for signs and synchronicities that reinforce the decisions that I'm making. Working on that connection between yourself and sort of your higher consciousness or your higher mind. And once you begin to be able to interact and having kind of conversations with almost like your higher self, you begin to just know when something feels right, and just because it feels uncomfortable doesn't necessarily mean it's the wrong decision. In the areas where I feel kind of scared or the most resistant, or in a situation that might make me feel uncomfortable, it's usually pushing me towards growth. So I think asking myself, will I grow from making this decision potentially, is a good way. I always feel very meh around my birthday. How do you approach a new year of life? Look, there is 100% something called the birthday blues. I definitely cried the day after my 30th birthday, but I also think the older you get, the more like alcohol really affects your mood and like anxiety and depressive episodes. I didn't cry after my birthday this year, so that was a success. I actually had a very happy birthday this year, but I think someone else also written saying, what did they say about being 30, turning 30 next year, and I'm feeling this panic about it. I have no idea why. It's honestly a societal pressure, and it's impossible to escape from, unfortunately. But honestly, just anytime you feel the panic, you just have to check yourself, like give yourself a little bit of and snap out of it, because it's something inevitable, it's something that's going to happen. Your life's not going to change overnight, and you just have to keep staying in the present and keeping it all in perspective. You know, your life doesn't end when you reach 30. Money was no object. What piece of furniture or art would you add to the loft? This is why my loft is bare, guys. It's because I have expensive fucking taste, okay? And I can't afford the things that I want to have in the loft. So that is why there is no, like, I cannot bring myself to buy something. However, if money was no object, some of the things that I'm obsessed with right now are, got a couple of artists that I've had my eye on, and I just think, God, if I had a few grand to throw at a super big piece, I would love to do that. Now I'm enjoying this rug. I'm obsessed. There's also this rug company called Pieces by an Aesthetic Pursuit rugs as well. Like, how fab. Also loving these Rowena Sarton layered cushions. Just the beauty of the colors they picked, of the translucent layered organza, like so much texture, so much depth. Oh, and then this is actually Lizzie's fault, Lizzie Hadfield, when we were out one night. She showed me this designer, Dirk van der Kooj. Tell you, this dining table altered my brain chemistry. I've not been the same since I've seen it. I cannot stop thinking about it. Hey, how are you? Reading anything fun / educative? It by a certain book that I know a lot of you either hate or love or haven't heard of at all. But one of the things that I wanted to do was I wanted to read a silly fiction book while I was away. I did not reach that goal because I actually just got too invested in the course. But I did start A Court of Thorns and Roses because I'm just sick of not being in the loop. It's just like a fairy smut book. But you know what? I guilty pleasure a lot of shows that sound like this. So why not? You know, I'm willing to go along with the silliness. A lot of you were here for it. But the main warning I got was, don't judge the first book. Just run with the first book and get into the second book, which seems like a bit of investment to like have to read 2 books to really get into something. However, yeah, I'm hoping to get into it at some point this month and just have a little bit of a break from all of the metaphysical stuff. So yeah, we'll see. I'm honestly just hoping it doesn't make me horny, because long distance girlies, you know. Pros and cons of being an only child. Obvious one being, you know, I was absolutely spoiled with my parents' love and affection. That was my experience, and I'm very grateful for that. Cons, probably the burden of having aging parents, ill parents as well, and not having anyone to like share that burden with. Big trigger topic for me, but yeah, I feel an immense responsibility for them. Very important question. golden crisp or mint crisp. I'm guessing you're referring to dairy milk chocolate. Funny story. I used to work in the school shop. I used to like run the school shop. It was actually pretty cool that we had like a little shop, but I used to do the orders as well. And you know I had every flavor of dairy milk chocolate on that menu. But yeah, I would end every lunch break, like if I was closing up shops at the job, able to snag a little drink and a snack, and I would always pick either a mint crisp or a golden crisp, depending on my mood. So I literally cannot pick. I love them both so much, but like a mint crisp just goes so hard sometimes. It's a very specific mood. What are some of the must listen podcasts you've heard or are listening to? I don't listen to like a crap ton of podcasts, but I am subscribed to 2 on Patreon. It's Dana and Greg's Patreon called the Nuekirk Museum of the Paranormal, and they actually have a podcast now as well, or videocast podcast, as we have a traveling museum of paranormal items, and sometimes they'll just cover new items that have come in. They put their video casts up there early. They kind of hold like live seances and live kind of remote viewing and Estes method sessions, and it just gets weird and it's cool, and I love their energy. There's such good energy from Greg and Dana, like they're mom and dad to me. And obviously subscribed to Red Room as well. My friend Jenny, who has now brought a limited series of her podcast on a video YouTube format. The 10K walks a few days a week just to get myself a bit more active, and I find that those podcasts like are exactly an hour of me pounding around the park getting the 10K steps in. So that's kind of where I've been finding time lately. What's a big thing that you've had to relearn during the last few years? I don't know about relearning, but definitely something I've had to learn over the past few years is understanding like my people pleasing tendencies, and learning not to be a people pleaser, and also learning how to be in a balanced dynamic within a relationship, to not overextend myself more than I need to, because I think a lot of women overgive. Learning not to mother the man that you're going out with, because I think it just ultimately will hurt the relationship in a long run. It'll mess with the dynamic and you're going to run into issues. So I do find some old habits, I kind of catch myself and think, you know what, I'm going to let you do this. This is your thing to figure out. Somebody shared a problem with you. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's automatically your responsibility to help them fix it. And I definitely used to feel extremely, and to a degree still feel extremely responsible for everyone in my life. And almost I'm kind of unlearning how to do that a bit, and to take care of myself a bit more and prioritize myself while still being mindful and supportive of those around me without emptying my cup in the process. 3 favorite and least favorite star signs. Okay, I've no least favorites because we all have a blend of all the star signs, but I would say I always get on with other Libras. Yet to meet another Libra that I don't like. I feel like when we get together, it's like a gaggle of geese. I find myself around a lot of Geminis. I think Geminis are just really, again, fellow air signs. I find them kind of funny and chaotic, probably tied with Sagittariuses and Aries. Like, I'm surrounded by so much Scorpio energy. My mom's a Scorpio. A lot of my friends seem to be Scorpios, and I find their energy and what comes out of their mouth sometimes like so unpredictable. It truly keeps me on my toes and I enjoy it. I want to rent in another city, split my time between both, but worried about feeling disconnected. How have you found time splitting your time between NYC and Van? Is it healthy to want both, or am I just desiring to avoid committing to one city? I think if you have the means to do it, and you're able to do it, and it's an opportunity that you can take, why not? I know going between both has made me warm up to the thought of spending some longer periods in Vancouver. I will say is that period of time will come to an end. It's not like you're going to live in 2 cities for more than a year, if even 6 months. I have just noticed a few people I know have also been doing bi-coastal, and what ends up happening is like when you find yourself feeling comfortable, you will then pick the city that suits you most, and you'll feel less scared to completely commit. It's weird for me even seeing myself live kind of bi-coastally now, because like years ago, before I actually moved, or like when I first moved to New York, I would always tell people like, oh, I would really love to live on both coasts during my time here, and I always mentioned doing bi-coastal. But the longer I was here, I was just like, how is that going to happen? Like, how is that going to happen? And then I visited the West Coast and didn't really fall in love with it. Then I remember after my last breakup, I was speaking to my psychic friend, who's a good friend of mine, Christine, and she was just like, I see you on the West Coast for a bit, and I see you near like a lake or a body of water. And it's so weird to me how spot on she is, because my boyfriend's place is not only on the West Coast, and this was before he moved there, way before he moved there. This was like over 3 years ago now. And his apartment is literally 2 blocks from the beach, 2 blocks from a body of water that does kind of look like a lake. Like Kitsilano is very like coved around. So it's funny how things come to fruition. What did you learn from your Saturn return? Very, very happy that I've made it out of alive of my Saturn return. Anyone that's, I think, born up to 1994 is now done with their Saturn return or finishing up. As soon as I hit 27, mine started, and it was a journey. Like, I'm glad I got it out of the way kind of early, but I think the main thing I learned from it was not to settle in life for anything. If you have desires, if you have hopes and dreams, don't settle. Like, just expect the most of yourself and hold yourself to a high standard. And I've just learned to take responsibility for myself in that way, and learn and recognize when things just aren't working, and to not force, was it a square peg into a round hole? What do you love about your man? Well, let me hype him up for a second. Totally self-indulgent question. I also love the girl that asked this question. She's a long time loyal subscriber, and very cheesy, but I love everything about him. I love that he matches me on every single level. Like, I'm someone that definitely needs romance, a sense of adventure. He just gives me all the things that I've dreamt of having in a relationship, while also like reaching places that I didn't even know existed, in terms of feeling safe and cared for and supported. And I don't know, I just couldn't imagine anyone more worth my time, energy, and love. Not to, like, I'm getting really awkward and like teary-eyed thinking about it, but I feel like I found someone that really is my equal. Do you have trust issues that affects your long distance relationship? No, and I wouldn't put up with anything that didn't make me feel fully committed to, fully invested in. I understand like the dating landscape is really different these days, but I'm just like an old fashioned gal. I believe that I will always be able to find my match in that. No, just somebody that has the same like values and approach to being in a relationship as me. Never been 1 second of this relationship that has made me doubt, feel fearful, feel unsafe, feel uncared for, unprotected for, unconfident. And that's just like my own personal standard. I am somebody that is extremely and fiercely loyal to the people that I'm involved with. So I think I hold other people to that standard as well. Not just relationships, but like friendships too. I think I've always felt this confident in a long distance relationship, but definitely knowing how I feel now, like with hindsight, and knowing that this level of safety can exist, I would never like settle for anything that wasn't 100%, you know. How to love yourself, like really, really love yourself. I think questions like this come from a disconnection that we have with who we are right now. Oof, deep one. I honestly think it comes from a place of liking yourself. Like, you have to live your life in a way that you like the person that you are. And if you don't like aspects of who you are, work to change them, and work to actively become that vision of yourself that you know that you've created and you know that exists, and step into that person every single day. That, I feel like, is how I've learned to love myself and fully accept myself, is to create a version of me that I love, you know. Because when you love yourself, like I said before, you create a foundation and a relationship with yourself that is really unshakable by what anyone else has to say or think. So honestly, fall in love with yourself. It's your responsibility to find what that is. That is it for the Q&A. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm just excited to be back. I'm feeling very calm, centered. I had a lot of time to sit with myself, deal with triggers as they came up, kind of move on from a lot of things, but also just like work on parts of myself that I've wanted to improve. Like, we're not like a constant self-improvement project, but even things like working on opening up my throat chakra, and like I did some workshops. Thank you all so much for watching. Little reminder to hit that notification bell, which I know is such like a God, I feel like people stopped saying that 5 years ago, but it truly is just a little cute pop-up on your phone anytime I upload. And with my future kind of hopefully more frequent schedule, I would really hate for you to miss a video, because I have found that anytime in the past I haven't posted on a Sunday, you guys just did not expect it and like completely bypass the videos. I would recommend doing that if you really don't want to miss a video. Very happy to be in New York. We're focused, we've got things to do. I've got big goals for the next few months. Yeah, I'm just ready to put my head down. Another kind of question was the perks of long distance, and this is a perk. It's being able to not be distracted as much. I already got some footage from before I left, so that'll be in the next vlog. But yeah, you'll see. Catch you on here or over on Instagram, whatever it may be. I hope you have a wonderful upcoming week. I have to go to a birthday tonight and then come back and edit this in time for you guys to see it on Sunday. I know a lot of you guys missed these videos. Goodbye.